Hi and welcome back or welcome to my All the Perfume YouTube channel. In this video I am sharing 10 super sweet perfumes. I absolutely love sweet perfumes and fragrances, and nowadays if a perfume is launched with lots of sweet notes, I just can't wait to get my hands on it and test it for myself. But it hasn't always been the case in my collection, and I think my love of these sweet perfumes really began in about 2006 or 7 when we saw lots of celebrity launches and some sweet smells amongst those perfumes. Prior to that, there weren't really any sweet scents in my collection, but then there weren't really any on the market. It wasn't a popular scent profile to be smelling sweet. I think part of the fun for me in smelling really sweet as well is that it feels like a kind of escapism, and it wouldn't matter how that particular day had started or how I was feeling or what the bigger picture was like in my life. To put on a really sweet, candied, fun fragrance just feels like a form of escapism, and that's partly why I love them so much. I'm happy to say that lots of sweet scents seem to be launched now, so among these perfumes I have here, many are still available to buy, with only a couple of discontinued perfumes that I just couldn't help sharing as well. First up, we have Fantasy by Britney Spears, and I just had to give this perfume some love by beginning with it. I think this was kind of a groundbreaking perfume when it was launched in 2005, although for me I always see it as early 2006 here in the UK. This just felt so fun, from the way the bottle looks, the packaging and that cute way that it opened up, and the smell just seemed so original and unlike anything else that you could smell at the time. You've got in this a mix of kiwi, white chocolate and cupcake, all real novelty fun notes that smell really good. And I debated whether or not I was going to smell these perfumes for my video, and with these scents I just have to, because they will hopefully work for me in that pick me up, mood elevating way I talked about at the beginning, because they smell that good. This is lovely in the way it kind of bursts with that kiwi in the opening. So it's bright and it's sharp, but it's so very sweet. And then you get the creaminess from the chocolate come in too. This feels like such a well done scent for an affordable fragrance. And it's kind of been an inspiration, shall we say, for lots of scents that have followed as well. I think this could have easily been Britney's first perfume, and it kind of feels like it to me. Even though I love Curious, Fantasy just feels like that iconic look for her line. And of course we've had so many flankers since, and indeed Candied Fantasy is on the way, so we can expect more sweetness with that perfume. This is such a great scent, and even if you have never owned a bottle yourself, I bet you know somebody who has worn it and you would recognise the smell of Fantasy. It paved the way, I think, for lots of celebrity launches. Even though we already had Jennifer Lopez launching perfumes before Britney, I just think this super sweet and fun addition to the perfume world felt like something very different, and I know that lots of young people had it as their signature perfume. But it does annoy me when a few people have said that they wouldn't wear it now, or, oh, I remember that from when I was younger, such a high school scent, but they've kind of added in that because of age they wouldn't wear it now. Just, that will never be my rule. If I like something, I like something. If I smell something good on somebody, I would never think, well, you're too old to wear that. That just isn't my life ethos. So I think this can be enjoyed at any age or stage, and I love the fact that I have a head teacher friend who has a bottle of this on her desk at school. Such a great perfume. I think I'll be talking the most on this than any of the other perfumes, because it's great and it's affordable. So if you want something super sweet, check out Fantasy by Britney Spears. This perfume is Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar 42 by Kayali, and I love Kayali. It is my favourite brand, and so when this was launched earlier on in the year with the promise of it being the sweetest perfume from Kayali yet, I was in a little bit of heaven, and not least because I was able to attend the London launch of the fragrance and see Mona again, and she just had this whole candy shop vibe going on for the perfume. So I'd had really high hopes, and I'm pleased to say that it is very sweet indeed. So it's made it to the video. Now, Kayali know how to make a launch of a fragrance really tempting. With the notes in this scent, we have candied pear, bubblegum, white caramel, vanilla cream, and also jelly bean. Lots of sweet notes there. And I will just point out my dent here. So as my favourite brand, we would expect this, but my most used perfumes do tend to be my Kayalis. So let's give that's better. So when I first smelt this, I was really happy that yet again the brand had come out with something that felt a bit different. And lots of people have compared this to JPG's La Belle, and it is a similar DNA. It's a way into knowing what this is like, but I prefer this perfume. This is lovely pear, and it is vanilla, but to me that bubblegum note is really prominent. So it does feel like it lives up to that candied world we saw when they launched the fragrance. It is a very sweet scent, and with it being Kayali, it's quality, so this is strong. And I sprayed what I thought was like a moderate amount for kind of a normal, what I would call mum day the other day, and I met my friend in the park with our sons and she could smell it instantly and she loved it. So I love that. I love when my perfumes receive compliments, and I always want to share which ones do. It's Kayali, so the price point is higher than for many of the fragrances I share here, but you get quality. And what with my friend noticing it so quickly, and it lasted so well on me the other night, it was smelling really strong. It is Kayali, so the price point is higher than some of the fragrances I'm sharing here, but you get quality. And so with my friend noticing it, we know it projects well, it lasts really well, and it's strong. And you can buy your 10 milliliter travel size of the perfume, which is really great as a way in to try the fragrances. I love this, and I'm happy to say that online people seem to be finding it great as like a signature scent. It doesn't feel like a novelty perfume, and in fact Kayali and Mona had said about this being like the younger sister of Vanilla 28, but as I said previously with Fantasy, perfume is ageless to me, so I think if these notes appeal to you, this will just feel like an enjoyable perfume that will smell good. This perfume is Sweet Like Candy by Ariana Grande, and in this one we've got blackberry, blackcurrant, whipped cream, marshmallow and vanilla. And it passed me by when it first launched, but once I owned Cloud and then went back and bought the rest of the Ariana line, it was with me in my collection, and it is one of my favourite Ariana scents too. So when I smell this perfume, Sweet Like Candy, I do get a real sweetness, but it is actually a juicy sweetness. So I am so strongly reminded of some like chewy kind of sweets that were shaped like flat strips that you could get here in the UK in the 90s. I was about 6 years old, and this is that kind of sweetness. It is a juicy sweetness, not a candied, sugary one. And it smells so good, and it's so fun, and it has that kind of fantasy factor for me. The putting it on just feels really great, and it smells good, and it lasts throughout the day as well. I really like this perfume, and from what I remember of the campaign, it was cute and it was pink, but I think even though Ariana Grande perfumes are so popular, there could have been more made of this as being that really lovely, fun, sweet scent. It's quite similar to the next perfume that I'll talk about, but it's great. It's really well done, and the notes just work well together. It's fruity and vanilla all at once. It's a really fun day scent for me, so enjoyable. I don't love these bottles, but I've got used to them, and the pink is all part of the fun. So that is Sweet Like Candy, and this one is still available to buy. I have been so excited to talk about this perfume. It is Midnight Fantasy by Britney Spears, and it was Britney's third launch, and I think this smells quite similar to Sweet Like Candy, the Ariana Grande fragrance. This was actually launched before that one, but here I feel that instead of the blackberry, it's like the plum in this is kind of interchangeable, but you've got vanilla in this scent too. Now, I feel that this is actually more of a choice and stronger than the original Fantasy. I think with Fantasy, it's always noticeable on people. I mean, it would always be familiar to me, there we go, because I know the scent. But I think with Fantasy, people spray a lot, so that adds into kind of that being able to smell it out and about. But this one, I would only ever really wear when I felt confident that somebody would be able to, confident in knowing that somebody would be able to smell the perfume on me. If I didn't kind of want to be noticed, then I wouldn't spray it. This was 15 years ago. I'm much happier to be noticed now. But this is so strong, and I always thought it smelled like sweets. And I would think of, what would I think of? Like Parma violets. It's not quite that Parma violet scent, but almost just like you're smelling a blue sweet. And berries. It is a really good, strong scent. That orchid note is certainly noticeable in here. But to me, this is that step stronger and sweeter than the original Fantasy, and I would always be able to notice this on somebody else too. I'm so glad it's still available to buy. It's fun, it's affordable, and if you want those dark berries in a fragrance, Midnight Fantasy is it. Marketed as midnight, you get that kind of evening vibe, of course, but really I think in a pink bottle or something more typically day looking, this is it. This is bright and uplifting for day wear, and it's Midnight Fantasy. This perfume is Burberry Her Elixir, and when I tested this scent, it went straight to the top of my wish list and was there for a few months, and I'm so glad I have my bottle. I have actually just included it in my favourite strawberry perfumes video, and this has a mix of strawberry, also blackberry, vanilla and sandalwood, and together they combine to just smell like bubblegum. That is how I feel about this scent, that I'm smelling a sugary bubblegum, and it's so pleasing and uplifting straight away. I do get that Burberry Her DNA from it as well, that lovely kind of powdery, almost makeup smelling vibe too. But for me, the easy win with this was that I just felt like I was smelling bubblegum. So sweet and so fun, and it's available for quite a reasonable price point now too. I love it, and this glossy light pink bottle just adds to the fun for me as well. A great bubblegum scent, even though that isn't a note, but the strawberry and the other notes just work so well to create that. This is really great if you like your sweet perfumes. This next perfume is from a brand that I've really admired and had perfumes on my wish list from for a long time now, but I've just had a few scents arrive in my collection, and this is Sweet by Ellis Brooklyn. And the notes in this one are pear, violet, bergamot and marshmallow. And I've enjoyed applying this to my skin today. And I've got this little roller ball here. And without a sweet perfume, which I just thought was so perfect, of course, for this video, it's like we have a kind of toned down version of Ariana Grande's God is a Woman perfume. We have that pear, but not as loud as it is in Ariana Grande. But here it is softer, and that marshmallow is really sweet and creamy behind it. So I am really enjoying this fragrance in my collection, and I'm after my full bottle. That's sweet, and I would really love to know which Ellis Brooklyn perfumes you've tried too. This perfume is one that I love, and when I bring out a perfume, and perhaps a perfume line, one of the fragrances will definitely be inspired by Sweet Darling. The notes include passion fruit, freesia, vanilla and cotton candy, and it just smells so good. It is discontinued, but I just can't resist including it because I feel like it kind of, with Fantasy, paved the way for my taste in really sweet scents. This smells beautiful, like something that's frosted and sugary. And so I think this bottle is just an amazing and suitable design for the fragrance. Feels like you're at the fair, but with like undertones of pretty florals and some juicy fruits kind of creeping in. It's so sugary and good, and I'm hoping that it is relaunched because we have Darling back, and I've said this a few times in my videos. Darling from Kylie Minogue made a comeback, and this shares the passion fruit of that scent. And now I feel in 2024 so many more people love their sweet perfumes, so I think this would do really well now. I adore this fragrance. I need to reach for it more, but I could say this about so many of my perfumes. I love it, and if you got really lucky, you might find it on a reselling site. But yeah, it's missed. I wish I could spray it freely, knowing I could buy backups, but this was a great perfume from Kylie Minogue, and it's Sweet Darling. This perfume is Toy 2 Bubblegum by Moschino. And did I buy it for the bottle? Yes, absolutely. but the promise of a bubblegum scent was also a great prospect as well. Our cute, bare, distinctive bottle for the toy line and a bubblegum perfume. How perfect. The bubblegum is mixed with rose, and we've got cinnamon as well with this one. So while that bubblegum is really there in the top, I love that scent. This also does have its rose and cinnamon too. So the cinnamon brings a little spice to the fragrance. I really enjoy this scent, but because it feels quite strong with the rose and the cinnamon too, I only wear it when I want to smell like it, which sounds so obvious for perfume. Of course we only wear them when we want to smell like it, but it's not a kind of scent that I can kind of happily have on me all the time. But that's probably because rose isn't a personal favourite scent for me. But if you want bubblegum and rose and something really fun that's just going to feel fun and uplifting in your days, this is a really great perfume. And I wouldn't say that this was particularly a summer scent. I think this would smell really good on you throughout the year. Toy 2 Bubblegum by Moschino. This perfume is Prada Candy Gloss, and I do have a couple of the other Prada Candy bottles in my collection, and I would ask you, do I need to get hold of the original? Because it's been on my wish list for a while. Without Candy Gloss, I was persuaded to buy this perfume when an English journalist and celebrity said that it smelled like sweets, and that was it for me. And in this fragrance, we have a sour cherry note with peach and also almond. Let's make sure I've got that. And when I smell it, it's more like a sweet cherry. And it's very fun, and it goes into a kind of powdery, almost cozy almond. So I would say it smells like sweets, but it's not one of the strongest sweet perfumes I own. I would spray a lot of this to feel like I was wearing it. I really love as well that there are people who feel they can smell a lipstick quality to this perfume. And I can see that with the powderiness. And I love how that suits the gloss name and also the bottle. So this is really fun. It will be priced a little bit higher than some of these celebrity perfumes I've shared, but I do love the Candied collection. And gloss with its cherry and almond is a really fun addition to the line. This perfume is Can Burlesque by Paris Hilton, and it's another scent that I'm going to say I need to reach for more. This is so enjoyable, and it is a flanker to the original Can. I've included this one because with its combination of raspberry, nectarine and musk, somehow the overall effect is candy floss, is how this perfume smells. So I'll give it a spray for the first time in a while, and it just smells lovely and so sweet, but toasty. I feel like I'm at the fair. Even though I don't actually enjoy going to the fairground, the idea of it is far more fun than the reality. And I'm smelling that candy floss, toastiness and sweet things. So of course it's just a really fun feeling and memory and nostalgia to smell this fragrance. I'm reminded of Kayali's Eden Juicy Apple and that lovely toastiness I get from those fruits too. Now, I will say that as this is the Burlesque flanker, I'm not as sure on its availability as the original Can, because that is still available to buy, happily. Paris Hilton does still share that one on her platforms. That original Can is also so fun, and I've always said that smells like parties, just real, almost fizzing fruits and like something quite different. This counterpart, just as fun, but has that lovely toasty cotton candy. So if you can find this one and you love your sweet scents, do check it out. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed learning about these super sweet scents. Please do tell me if you've tried any, if any appeal to you, and feel free to ask me any questions about them as well. Please do give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and remember to subscribe to my channel. You can find me over on Instagram, TikTok and my blog. Thank you again, and I will see you in my next video.